Welcome back to another episode of Sports Unlimited. And as you notice, we have someone new here. No, he's not trying to rob me. It's okay. No, but as y'all know, the show started off between me and my sister. Then she had to make the decision to go back to school. And I've been doing it by myself, but I did miss somebody to do it with, that argument back and forth. So I've been looking around. Turns out who I needed was with me the whole time, my trainer, Devin. So welcome to the show, Devin. Say hi to everybody.
How y'all doing? Glad to be here.
Yeah, he knows a lot about sports. He knows as much as I do. Only downside is he's a Texas fan. So, you know, but sometimes it's the beauty in the differences, right? It's what's beautiful, right? So let us go ahead and get started. We have a lot to talk about this show. We're going to take our takeaways from last week college football and NFL, which Cowboys, come on, guys, hurt my feelings. Obviously, we got to talk about the Packers and what they're doing. Georgia almost got upset. Bob Stoops, come on, what happened? Alrighty, and of course, our power rankings for college and NFL and a couple other things. But prepare for an episode of insight, excitement, and everything else. I'm thrilled to have you on board. So let us get started. And of course, as you can see, we're getting started with the 10 takeaways from the NFL week 2. Of course, I'll start it off this time around. I love the Chargers ground game. It's on point. All right. J.K. Dobbins had Los Angeles had 219 rushing yards for 44 carries, with J.K. Dobbins as truly the front runner of the backs. With I believe he ranked 131 yards, and even Justin Herbert had 18 yards. So showing that Jim Harbaugh wants to run the ball, and I firmly believe that it's the right choice. You know?
Absolutely. I think he brought that from Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
which they did a lot of it last year and was very successful at doing it.
Yeah.
So I like him bringing that to the NFL is just an easier transition for him. And he's been successful in the past, so why not keep going?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
not keep going?
That's true. All right. What do you have on yours?
I got the good stuff.
Mhm.
I got the Packers with their 16 win over the Colts.
Oh.
Do we believe in them?
Mm. You have to, man.
It's It's tough. I think the Packers still have a lot to prove. Of course, it's early in the season, but they did show improvement from the previous week, which is good. Which
Mhm.
is good. They're still transitioning with everything new that they have. So I think if they keep playing the way they did, they'll build off that, and this season will be great. Season will be
Yeah,
great for them.
and there is talks that Jordan Love is back at practice, limited practice.
Yeah,
So, you know, it's,
I think once he's back, you'll see that rhythm back in the team.
mm,
I think right now with the quarterback they have, they're just trying to find out how he plays and how they can adjust to him.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Of course, we got to talk about my Cowboys. No, red zone struggles again. They keep going. Alrighty, he was one of 3 in the red zone opportunities, failing to extend the drives. He was inconsistent in the run game. The run game was inconsistent. I should be more specific. I mean, despite this, that 65-yard touchdown from CeeDee Lamb against the Saints, it's just more of the same.
The Cowboys gotta figure it out sooner rather than later. Um, because if they keep playing the way they did Sunday, it's gonna be a long season for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a long season for Dak. I mean, Dak's great. He has the protection he needs for his passing game.
Yep.
Passing game is always on point every week, but you got to establish that run game. We've
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of running backs who are great at what they do. We just got to figure out how to get them going from the jump.
Yeah,
From the
I
jump.
completely agree on that one. What you got next, man?
Should Tua retire?
Hmm.
Absolutely.
We're gonna talk about that even more in depth here in a little bit, but I will say that, in my opinion, yes, he
Yes,
should.
I think he should. He's gotta realize it's bigger than football.
Mm-hmm.
He's a husband. He's
The
a
father,
son.
yeah.
He's a brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to look at that bigger picture rather than trying to contribute to the Dolphins. Like your health, your mental health, your brain is what you need to control yourself in everyday life.
Yeah.
Let's To me, let's hang it up, coach, mentor. Let's do something like that. But I think he should let go of football.
I completely agree on that. Um, I like the Raiders' fourth quarter offense. If they keep playing like this, ladies and gentlemen, I am not kidding you. They are going. They could go far. I'm not gonna Raiders fans. I'm not gonna sit here and say they're going to the Super Bowl, but they erased a 10-point deficit. Adam had 9 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown, and the defense, basically regrouped and stopped Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And who is their quarterback?
Gardner Minshew.
Oh man,
Gardner Minshew.
that is wild. You would never expect him to be where he is now and winning games.
Yeah.
Winning games. That's crazy. But it's good to see that he's still there. He can still make a difference with any team he goes to. So I think that's great for the Raiders. If they continue to find that bond, then they'll be a tough team.
Yeah.
They'll be a tough team. Yeah. Absolutely.
What else do you got?
Next, we got the 49ers loss to the Vikings. That was heartbreaking.
You know that they haven't won in Minnesota the last 5 years.
I don't think that game Sunday was Minnesota's fault playing in Minnesota. The turnovers. Oh, they beat themselves.
Yeah.
They beat themselves. One or two things go right for the 49ers. They wouldn't even have to be in that situation to be playing to the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like they should have won that game. I don't want to say by ease, but they definitely should have won.
Yeah.
Definitely should have won.
So I think this one is one of the biggest surprises of the season. But the only problem with the Pats is their pass defense.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I mean, Geno Smith threw for 327 yards, a touchdown. No, they had horrible communication issues.
Mm-hmm.
And, now they're facing Aaron Rodgers with the Jets on Thursday night.
You can never count him out. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how old he is. Like that man can still play some ball.
Yeah.
If he wants to win, he's gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna win. He's gonna find the ways, whether it's deep passes to beat you, or if he has his check down, he'll take that all day long. But he's gonna find the way. So if your defense is not ready, it's gonna be a long night.
Yeah.
Long night,
yeah. Very long night.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the last one you got for takeaways?
NFL.
Mm-hmm.
My next one was. I'm on college.
Oh, I guess that was the last one. My bad.
That was
All
it.
right. It's okay, guys. We got this.
There's just so much happening in the NFL.
Yeah.
We got so much time to cover so much. So we have to cram in the important things. The important things. Absolutely.
And even then, there's so much more. Oh my God! It's so much.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and go into the next one. And as you can see, we're on topic number deuce. 10 takeaways from college week 3. Go ahead and start us off, sir.
Quinn Ewers' injury will it prevent him from winning the Heisman?
Yes, we are going to talk about that too, very in depth. But I knew you were going to put it in there because that is a big takeaway.
You got to.
You got to. Yeah,
it's huge.
Yeah,
huge.
No, I firmly believe that it could. It could completely hinder his Heisman.
Absolutely. I don't think you can miss. He's on a week-to-week basis, but I don't think you can miss. 1 to 2 weeks and still think you're at the top. I will say if he does come back, he's gonna have to have blowout performances every game.
Mm-hmm.
Every game. And I mean, not to mention when you're ready to come back, will you be the starter? Will you come in behind Arch slowly? Because right now Arch is looking.
Yeah, he's looking slow.
He's a bad man. He's
looking at his uncles.
he's a bad man.
Speaking of the Mannings, Eli Manning just made one of the finalists for the Hall of Fame as the first ballot. So controversial right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
absolutely.
But we will talk about that when that time comes, people.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah, but it could definitely have an effect on his Heisman
Mhm.
for sure.
Now, of course, you got to talk about this one. Bill Napier digging his own dang hole. That man does not want to keep working.
It gets to a point to where some of these coaches should, hang it up, let the next guy take over. Um, there's there's so much you can prove, and then there's so much you can try to prove that could potentially hurt your team.
Mhm.
And right now, in my opinion, that's what he's doing. That's definitely what he's doing.
Because he had a perfect chance against Reed.
Hmm.
At A&M, they're coming off of that win against McKinney State. Then they had against the close loss.
Yeah,
Reed didn't really play, hasn't really playing anything. I mean, it should have. They should have won.
hmm,
They really should have won.
I agree.
But I will add to this one. I think they might also fire Scott Strickland, the AD.
Mm, that's tough.
That's a tough one, right?
Tough.
Yeah. But
That's
what
tough.
other one you got?
Georgia.
Ooh,
Oh, Georgia. Oh, we worried about Georgia.
yeah.
That game, I watched that whole game, and let me just tell you, Georgia did not look like Georgia.
Mm.
They were not playing bulldog football. It was pretty much they were trying to find their place, find their place. So them being the number one Georgia last week definitely did show. Uh, the rankings put Georgia where they should be right now. But you never know. They could fight their way back up. But if they play the way they did last week, they got a long road ahead.
Yeah.
They got a long road ahead.
Yeah. For me, I think you have to mention this, but Florida State is just awful.
They're terrible.
Just awful.
They're terrible.
I mean, 0-3 after losing to Memphis. They're the first preseason top 10 team to lose their first 3 games to unranked opponents.
Hmm.
No, they struggle setting plays. They struggle catching the ball, running the ball. Defense couldn't stop. I would look good against. I would look like a Heisman Trophy finalist if I was going against Florida. And you've seen me. You work me out all the time. You know what I'm talking about. I suck.
I just don't think they got it. Last year was last year.
Mm-hmm.
But that transfer portal was tough, and they lost a lot. They didn't gain nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a hard hit. Uh, I'm not gonna talk about the quarterback, but we should definitely talk about the quarterback. He's not built for Florida State's offense,
He's not built for anything.
and they need to realize that and get him out of there.
Yeah.
Get him out of there.
Perfect. All right. What else do you got?
Colorado.
The
Do
Banks.
do we believe in Colorado
Mm-hmm.
after the Colorado State victory?
Honestly, no. No. I will get. We again. A lot of these we're gonna get back into depth in them here later on, but no, no,
It's
they're fakes.
so it's for me. For me, it's not a yes and it's not a no. Um, I just feel like they need to get back to the basics. And in one of Travis Hunter interviews, he actually said that they need to get back to the basics, take it a day at a time, which I believe. They took a tough loss against Nebraska, and I think that was a wake up call for him. That was a wake up call for him. But the biggest thing for them this past week was the protection of Shador. That line put in some work.
Yeah.
Line put in some work for sure. So I feel like if they keep building up that, going into the Big 12, they got a shot. They got a shot.
Of course, I think you just talked about Georgia, but I think both you and I can agree that Mark Stoop is gonna regret punting the ball.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
4th and 8 at Georgia's 47-yard line.
Yeah.
After the way they were playing,
Yeah. That's a. I don't know who made that decision, but they should not have a job this week.
I was just about to ask you, should Mark Stoop get fired because of that?
Man, it's tough.
Yeah,
It's tough. I think he went into hiding a couple days after this game.
I would have too.
But that was I wouldn't have put it. Me personally, I wouldn't have put it.
And of course, what's your last thing before we
That was Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know my last one. Look, I think Eli Holst is Mr. Comeback. Eli Holstein, I'm sorry. All right. He transferred from Alabama. All right. Comeback back to back victory wins. Erased a 21-point deficit against Cincinnati. Threw for 301 yards, 3 touchdowns, 59 rushing yards to guide Pitt to a 34-30 win over West Virginia. And now the Panthers are 3-0. I mean,
That's a good start.
ooh,
That's a good start.
I got you. Gotta give him credit. Credit too, though.
That's a good start. Although the season is fresh,
Mm-hmm.
of course, we're about to get into competition now.
Mm-hmm.
So if he can continue that, it'll be a tough team. Tough team. But we got to see how it goes. Definitely got to see how it
Yeah,
goes.
but
For
I'm a
sure.
believer right now. I'm a believer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, let's go on to the next one. All right, we are back, and of course, like I said, we were gonna talk about more things in depth. And you had said, do you believe in the Packers after that 16-10 win over the Colts with Malik Willis? Obviously, your answer kind of made me spill my drink, but y'all know me, I'm a little. But tell me why you believe in them.
They show potential. Um, Willis definitely showed what he could do. Even though he's not the starter, he definitely showed what he could do. Just in case we have another incident where Love is out, Malik knows he can get in there and lead the Packers to victory. Even though it wasn't a huge win, but a win is a win. And right now they'll take it.
Yeah.
So they'll get the ball rolling. I feel like for him, it's a fresh start to embrace the team he's on. Figure them out and definitely make it happen. Definitely make it happen.
I I want to agree with you. At the same time, though, it's kind of hard to trust Malik Willis because of the way he played in Tennessee. Um, on top of that, that secondary of the Packers that was widely improved from last year um, should have shut down Anthony Richardson. Should have.
He's good.
I mean, I know he's good. I know he's good, but their secondary is much better. I mean, Xavier McKinney is there. Wow, his name has escaped me. That their other safety. Well, and then when they draft a lot of cornerbacks. I mean, they did great in additions. I mean, I just don't understand why it's such a questionable mm, situation there. I mean, he was 12 for 14 for 122 yards and a touchdowns plus rush for 41 yards. No, so it's just I don't know something. I want to trust it. I want to believe in it, but they face Tennessee next week, kind of revenge tour for Malik Willis. Can you actually trust it though?
I think he's looking forward to it, and I think the Packers come out of that game victorious.
Yeah, I do have him in my pick 'em this week
I think
for.
they come out of that one victorious because I feel like he's got a chip on his shoulder,
Mhm.
just because of the way Tennessee did him.
Yeah,
So I feel like
they did do him dirty.
yeah, I feel like he's gonna go in there and be like, "Look, this is what y'all lost, and now I'm about to show y'all."
I do appreciate though that Malik Willis's ability to check down and understand the differences in the plays.
Mhm.
Like I don't know if you read that, but in one of them he ran the ball instead of throwing it, mainly because the center threw up on the ball. But if you look back at the plays, also it was kind of set up for him to run the
Yeah.
ball.
Oh yeah.
No, that the mic never pulled down like he should have. He kind of went with the tight end, and then they just left the gap open.
That's the scary part about him. He's got an arm, and he can run.
Mm.
So as a defensive coordinator, like you gotta make sure you're ready for both because he can do both and he's great at both.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. But I will say this though, Tennessee is going to be dangerous for Green Bay if they don't. Malik Willis. I'm sorry, not Malik Willis. Tennessee's quarterback. Shoot, my name is escaping me.
probably because he ain't done that yet to be ready.
Well, he's a turnover machine,
Yeah.
but if you saw his last two games, he actually played very well up to the end. when he threw a devastating pick.
Mhm.
So I think it's going to be a hard fought match, but I am going to pick the Packers to win this one. Just FYI.
Yeah, I think both teams are going to have to play their best ball. And I think, honestly, personally, I think this game is going to come down to last possession.
Yeah,
Last
I agree.
possession. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. But perfect. Let's go on to our next thing. So as you saw on Thursday Night Football, Tua got another injury, and unfortunately, got a concussion. So it gives a question that we were asking earlier: should Tua retire?
If I'm his wife, if I'm his brother, if I'm his parents, absolutely. They should be putting it in his mind that him being there with them is more important than him playing football. That's scary. Three tough ones so far. That's scary. No, he's up, he's moving around, and everything like that. But it comes to the point of where if he takes that one shot, to where like it's actual damage done to him, and he just can't come back from that. So I feel like he should retire, and like I said earlier, become a mentor, become a coach, just do something like that, but be a family man first and leave football alone for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he has three concussions between 2022 and 2024. Obviously, we do remember the ones last year,
Hmm.
kind of back to back. Um, but he also has, that's not accounting for his leg injury, and ankle injury, shoulder, chest, rib injuries. I mean, he's too injured at
Yeah,
this point. And I mean, we all know that a head injury is 100 times worse than a rib injury or
yeah, absolutely,
no,
absolutely.
and although I do like what Mike McDaniel said, in his interview, you know what? Don't talk about his future right now. Just let him get healthy. And I think it was so impressive that Miami didn't question it. They just gave it a few days and they put him on IR. No forcing him at least 4 weeks of rest. But I completely agree with you on this. Tua should retire. I think it's more important to be there for your kids
Mhm.
and for your family than football. And I mean, he's still good. He can go back and coach. He can do mentor. He can do so much, so much. I mean,
I feel like if he has it in his mind not to retire, I think he should take a whole year off to get right.
yeah,
Treatment, all that. Like the one whole year didn't come back.
mhm.
Just the Dolphins got to back up. Let him play. It might not be what they want this season, but if you want to keep Tua and you don't want him to retire, like he needs to take an extended amount of time away from the game.
Yeah.
Away from the game.
I,
Absolutely.
I think he should take at least maybe the rest of this year and all of next year off. Uh, I mean, they do have Skylar Thompson. They can always bring back Ryan Tannehill, who did great with them.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really at this point, it's not really about the quarterback. I mean,
Mm-mm.
you have the weapons. You have, I mean, Raheem Monster, David H.
No,
No,
they got a team.
they got
They got
Team
a team,
Tyreek Hill,
man.
Jalen Waddle. I
Yeah.
mean, I do question their offensive line a little bit, but I mean, you put a veteran like Ryan Tannehill back there. I mean, I think they'll be so much better off.
Yeah. I mean, let him take the year off. There are some great quarterbacks coming up in the draft. Grab one.
Who's coming up?
Grab one. You
Well,
got
Quinn Ewers.
Ewers. Sanders is coming up. He's good. He's good. But just move up, take one of them, and then work around that.
Yeah.
You know. So I think they just got some tough decisions to make. But definitely let Tua take the year off for sure.
Yeah. So there you go. Let us know, though, what you guys think. So, like we talked about, the 49ers lost to the Vikings 21-17 or something like that.
23-17.
23. I have it right there on my own screen. I didn't even look at it. Oh my god. It's embarrassing. But should we overreact to the 49ers?
No, absolutely not. I still think the 49ers are one of the best teams in the NFL. They had some mistakes. They had some mistakes that I think they could have avoided. Um, the Vikings did have great field position in some of those mistakes that they definitely capitalized off of. But no, I don't think we should overreact about this at all. I think 49ers go into next week. They've watched film. They're going to figure it out. And I feel like next week is going to be the 49ers we know. And then they're going to prove it. They're going to prove it.
I think this is the one we're going to disagree because I am worried about them. CMC is out for another 3 weeks. Brandon Ayuk now is in IR. Trent Williams is a non-factor, even though he's the best left tackle in the game.
The running game was good this week. It wasn't Christian McCaffrey, but they had a decent run game.
I'm not gonna deny it was a decent run game, but I mean George Kittle is hurt. He's a little banged up. He was a non-factor. I mean, their weapons were non-factors. So to me, I mean, now they're going in. The only good thing about this week, they're playing the Rams, and the Rams are more messed up than they are.
But do we really feel like Sam Darnold is that man?
He's not. I'm not saying he's that man. I'm just saying that the defense only held them to 399 total yards, which in the grand scheme of things, that's almost nothing.
I feel like everybody's gonna get one, and I feel like the 49ers let the Vikings get that one. I feel like they turn it up next week. I feel like they turn it up next week.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I legitimately feel like it's not an overreaction to be worried.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that they're not playing well, and I don't know if it's just because everyone's hurt or they don't have a full team. I mean, it goes back to, I guess it goes back to when they played the Eagles in the championship game. What is it? 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, where everybody was hurt, but they still managed to, to do stuff.
That's why I don't think we should overreact. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Uh, because I think they will still find the will to make it happen. To make it happen, absolutely.
I guess we have to wait and see. No, I don't think next week is going to be a good match because, like I said, the Rams are kind of messed up as well. Uh, like really messed up. So, but no, we're gonna wait and see.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So I messed up and I missed the slide. So we're gonna talk about two things at once. That's okay. Uh, like you said, Quinn Ewers got hurt against UTSA. How go into more depth about his injury affecting him as the Heisman hopeful for Texas?
I think it's tough to miss a lot of games and come back and feel like you still got it. Because while you're out, those other Heisman candidates are building their stats. They're building it up. I mean, the people that they have in there, like they're not taking it easy.
Mhm.
They're not gonna let up just because Quinn's out. No, they gonna do what they need to make sure their name is mentioned.
Yeah.
Make sure their name is mentioned. His injury, like I said, it's a week to week basis. But I think he should let himself fully heal before he try to come back. Arch looked great in the pocket. The man looked relaxed. The man looked like he was having a field day.
Yeah, he was.
So let him enjoy. Texas don't have nothing to worry about. Um, Arch knows exactly what he's doing and what it takes to win a game.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Texas has anything to worry. But I think Quinn should let himself heal fully before he can come back and try to make a Heisman run.
I mean, they do have about two more opponents before they hit their rivalry in October. And then that's when their big stretch comes down to Oklahoma, Georgia, and then end up here at A&M, for the Lone Star Showdown.
Blowout.
So that's what you say. We ain't even gonna talk about that. Which, by the way, you will wanna be here for that one. I'm gonna not only is it my daughter's first birthday party, all right, which is gonna be awesome, but I'm gonna have some friends. We're gonna do a big old show.
It'll be heated.
It's gonna be heated. I mean, I don't know. No, we might get in a fight. Who knows? We'll see.
November 30th. Tune in.
Somebody is gonna get arrested this weekend.
Absolutely.
And I can guarantee you it's not gonna be me this time around.
Might be a couple A&M fans leaving at halftime, but that's typically how it happens when you get your ass whooped.
I mean, we always win at halftime because we still have the better band, but we don't we don't just do the high school thing. You know?
I think the best part of an A&M game is power.
Mhm.
Yeah, once that go up, I feel like if people leave the stadium, it'll be the same thing. You know.
We'll have to wait and see on that one. But like I said, we're doing two things at once because I messed it up. It happens. No. Are you worried about Georgia after that 13 win?
Georgia's in trouble. Georgia's in trouble.
Oh,
They're off this week. They need to be off this week. And then they got Bama next week.
Mhm.
If they don't get it together, Bama is going to spank them. It's going to be ugly. And you're going to see the real Georgia team. The real Georgia team. And then, I mean, they also got Texas. So that, I mean, I just don't, I don't know, man. I don't know. To me, they're in trouble. They're in trouble moving forward.
I disagree with you on this one too. I don't I don't believe that they're in trouble. I think it was a bit of a worrisome state, but we see this from Georgia every year. They have a tendency to play down to their opponents, and it's usually what happens. Maybe around this time, usually they play somebody that could beat them. No, that obviously it's not, and they had some offensive struggle, and but they were still able to pull off a win. I think even if Bob Stoops does not punt it, and they still going, I still believe that they're gonna be they would have still won.
A number one Georgia team only scores one touchdown.
It happens sometimes. They're playing down to their opponent.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
They still kept them to 4 field goals though.
They also got much better defenses coming up.
That is true. I will give you that.
They
Yeah.
got much better defenses coming up.
Mm.
So I mean, if they don't get back to Georgia Bulldog football, it's gonna be a long road.
Now that I do agree. They do need to play up to their opponents, but I mean, it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think until against Alabama, if they struggle against Alabama, will pull off a win. I think that I will say I'm worried. But right now, I firmly say I'm not. I'm saying it was a one off. You know.
I think this season Georgia better be lucky. There's a 12-team playoff.
Yes, yes. Well, I think there's a lot of teams that are lucky that there's a 12 team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right, let's go to the next one. All righty. So, like we talked about, Colorado. Do you believe in them after that Colorado State win? And I'm gonna start this one because I firmly believe I gotta say hell no. No, number one, I don't like the Sanders. Alrighty, I think they're overhyped. I don't think they're as good as people say they are. No, number two, Shador pissed me off because he wouldn't even shake the other guy's hand. Like, bro.
I do and I don't. Like I said earlier, Shador to me is a great quarterback. Uh, the line definitely stepped up big time from last week. I think he only got sacked once. That's huge for Colorado. You give Shador that kind of time with the receivers he's got. He's gonna make plays. He's gonna make plays. Colorado State's defense definitely wasn't what it was last year. So I feel like that was a big problem for Colorado State, and Colorado definitely took advantage of that. But moving forward, Colorado's defense has to figure out how to stop the slant and the run.
Yeah.
They stop those two things, they're gonna have a great run with their schedule. They got Baylor coming up. I think this starts their Big 12 play.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. I think it starts at Big 12 play, and it's really gonna show where they are because there's a couple teams that aren't pushovers in the Big 12, like K State, Oklahoma State, Utah. And I mean, this Saturday they gotta show what they got against Baylor. Baylor's had their ups and downs, but when it comes to it, Baylor's gonna put it all on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so they go to Baylor. So Baylor comes to them. Then they go to UCF. Then K State goes to them. Then they go to Arizona. Then Cincinnati goes to them. They go to Texas Tech. Then Utah comes home to them. Then they go again to Kansas, and then they end with Oklahoma. And then depending on what happens, they may end up back in Dallas for the Big 12 championship. But I mean, even then, like I still cannot trust them. I don't believe in them because, like you said, the run. They only had 109 rushing yards to 131 of Colorado State. They still allowed 209 passing yards, which they should have not allowed. And when you're looking at the scoring summaries, no, yeah, I don't know how you say that name, LeJohntay Western.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sure, uh, you know he was doing great, but they weren't like this amazing plays. They were to me they were kind of they broke down the defense. The defense broke down on its own, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what they were allowed to put those two touchdowns in the second quarter. No, and then of course you got Travis Hunter who had the 2 yard pass from Shador, but then they like at the end of the game they allowed they allowed them to get another touchdown when they should have put them away a long time ago.
Yeah.
So against some better opponents, when you go back and you look at the game against Nebraska, it was they only allowed 244 passing yards and 16 rushing yards, while Nebraska had only 186 passing yards, but to 149 rushing yards.
Yeah. Like I said, they got to figure out a way to stop the run. They also got to figure out a way to get their run game going. I don't want to throw too much shade, but I feel like they lost their two best backs to the portal.
Which, oh yeah, yeah, they did.
I feel like
Yeah,
they
they
lost their
did.
two best backs. But I feel like Shador knows what it takes, knows what he's got coming in the Big 12. Travis is gonna be Travis no matter what. The
Mhm.
guy is phenomenal at what he does. So if he's gonna make it happen if he has to, the play calling, and the defensive adjustments are gonna have to be on point moving forward. If they wanna get to the Big 12 championship and also a playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're gonna get there. I think Kansas State, after that demolish of Arizona, was I think they're gonna be in the Big 12. Then you have either Utah or Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's tough.
Yeah, but Utah's been to the Pac-12
Yeah.
championship how many years, and they've won it in the Rose Bowl. I mean, I don't
And both those teams got a running game, which that's where Colorado lacks.
exactly. I also don't. I think their culture, well, maybe not the culture, but their game scheme is very much of let Shador be Shador instead of, hey, let's take a step back and let me not be a Sanders, let me just be a quarterback
Mm-hmm.
and trust. Because that I think they have some great wide receivers. They have some great wide receivers. It just when they play to, I just can't trust them when they haven't proven they can stay consistent against tougher opponents.
Mm-hmm.
And I know again who they faced, and the perfect example actually, North Dakota State, who they should have lapped them around,
Blew them out.
but so Cam Miller, their quarterback, was 18 for 22 for 277. I mean, their running back Cam Miller had 81 yards and two touchdowns.
Yeah.
No, Dylan Hayden couldn't 20 yards.
Yeah. It's tough for them, but they just got to take it week by week, play by play, and just do what they got to do to get it done. Do what they got to do to get it done. I will say they have slowed down on all the hype built around them.
Mm-hmm.
Internally, they do it, but they don't throw it out there like they did last year.
Yeah.
So I feel like that has calmed the team down a little bit to where they can actually play Colorado football.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a positive for them, but they definitely got to get it together. Dion definitely got to get his head on right, and like lead this team because they got the athletes that they got them absolutely.
I guess we're going to have to wait and see on that one. But I guess we can't agree on everything. We can't agree on everything. But let's go into our next two topics. We're now into our next thing, our college football top 25. Of course, go to the social media, our Sports Unlimited to see the full 25. Because of time, we can only talk about our top 10. But let's talk about our top 10. And here we are. Our top 10. We have Devin's top 10 on here next to me, and my top 10 next to him. I forgot that the screen gets flipped. That's my fault. That's my fault. But still, I think this makes it more dramatic, if you will.
Absolutely.
So
Argue a little bit.
of course we got to argue about this. Number one, this hurts me to say, but I gotta give credit where credit is due. I have Texas. Why do you have Texas at number one?
Because the odds of Texas are upon you. Texas looks absolutely great. From offense to the defense, they're an all around team right now. That receiving core, the Longhorns got, you can put their starting four on a sprint relay team and they'll probably win.
Yeah,
They're good. They're great route runners. Not to mention they got two amazing quarterbacks who can get the ball to them. They just look like a complete team. They've been dominant the first 3 weeks. I don't see them. I don't see them falling no time soon. I don't see them falling no time soon.
I mean, their schedule's hard coming up. They do got a couple, and then they got the Red River rivalry against Oklahoma in Dallas, which I'll be in Dallas for that, because we're going to the state fair. Yeah, you gotta go to state fair. I mean,
We went last year. It was after though. I don't think I want to be there last
no, the Red River rivalry that said it was horrible track.
year.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I wouldn't recommend it for anyone. But the state fair is fun. I do want to go back. It's so much fun. Plus, it'll be Dakota's first one.
Nice.
And we was going for her mom's birthday. I mean, well, for her birthday, but we was going for the
Yeah,
fair. So,
absolutely.
but at number two, this is where we disagree. Obviously, you have Ohio State at number two. I have Georgia. Let me go first on this one. So, look, like I said, Georgia just played down to their opponent. Okay, Carson Beck and Malaki Stark, they had an off game. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Okay. No. Plus, McKeel Williams had a key injury, and Tate Ratnell, whatever, however you say his name. No, he was a little banged up, but I still think that they're gonna be okay against Alabama. I don't 100% fully trust Alabama. I give them credit where credit is due, but why do you have Ohio State at number two?
Ohio State looked impressive. They've looked impressive.
But who did they face? Who they face?
I mean, they haven't faced quite the teams they should, but the way they run their offense, the way they look, they're going to be tough. They're going to be tough, and they absolutely have a spot in the college football playoffs, no doubt about it. But right now, moving like going forward, they are looking mighty tough, and that's why I put them as my number two.
Fair enough. So again, at number three, we disagree once again. Ohio State at number three for me. Alabama number three for you. Why Alabama number three?
Alabama and Ohio State was honestly close. I just feel like Ohio State got a little edge over them just by the way they've been playing. But I mean, like I said, it was close. But Bama at three for me should be there because of the way they're playing. They've got an excellent 17-year-old
That was oh
Who's
my,
killing it right now.
telling me that now.
He's
It's like, oh
killing
my
it right
god.
now. And then Milrow.
Mhm.
The guy is playing the way he should. He's playing the way he ended last season.
Mhm.
He knew what he needed to do this season to get where he wanted to be. Um, he could also be a potential Heisman
Oh
winner.
yeah.
Like the dude is, he's putting up numbers. He's doing what it takes to win, and he's playing like a quarterback, and he's a dual threat as well.
Hmm.
So anybody they play got to adjust to him. But not only to him, you got a 17-year-old on the outside who will kill you just as well.
Sure.
So Alabama at 3 was definitely a must for me.
Yeah. I like Ohio State at number three over Alabama. Sure, they faced Marshall this week. They were faced Western Michigan the week before. Plus, they were on bye week in week three. Uh, but they're doing what they're supposed to be doing against this lower opponents. All of these are what they call the trap games, so that they could play down to them and lose. And they're not like they beat Marshall by, I mean, I'm sorry, Western Michigan by 8 touchdowns in week two. Uh, Marshall's a very good team. No, you got to give credit to them, and they could, make it a struggle against Ohio. But I think Ohio's going to win that one.
Yeah.
So I felt more comfortable putting them at number three than over Alabama. Again, at number four, obviously we disagree here again. Pretty much Alabama for me, Georgia for you. Again, I think everything you are saying about Alabama is 110% true. Jalen Monroe is arguably now the front runner for the Heisman with Ewers out.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found out today from you that they had that guy was Williams had was a 17-year
Yeah,
old.
17, man.
I'm just like, oh my god, I
He's a
cannot.
stud.
He's
He's a stud.
amazing.
He was doing this in high school, but even easier.
Yeah.
So I watched him. Well, I just watched his highlights from time to time on YouTube, and the guy was he made it. It was practice for him his whole high school career.
Hmm.
That's just how good he was. Like 1-on-1, you're not gonna stop him. 2-on-1, he's still gonna beat you. The guy is great. Like he is. He's amazing. He's amazing. So I don't take anything away from him. But Alabama's gonna be tough.
Yeah, and I mean it's gonna be interesting. I think this one's gonna really change. Um, after once Alabama faces Georgia, and Georgia faces Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course after the river rivalry, I think we might be able to see big changes here.
Yeah.
Of course, at number 5 through 10, we pretty much agree on all of them except for maybe Missouri and Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me why Miami at 7 and Missouri at 8?
Cam Ward's proven himself. Cam Ward has proven himself back there at QB. The guy's great. He's great at running the offense. With his checkdowns and everything like that. The dude is good. He's good, and Miami looks very impressive to start the season off. Um, that's why I got them at 7 because I couldn't put them over Tennessee the way Tennessee is playing right
Oh
now.
yeah, no, I agree.
But I definitely could put them over Missouri just because of the way their quarterback is playing. He's playing phenomenal. He's making the team look great. So that's why I put them at 7.
See, I agree with you, but that Boston College win for Missouri was more impressive to me than the blowout that Miami had.
Mm.
I think Missouri proved that they can be down against what would you call an inferior opponent
Mm-hmm.
and pull off the win that needs to be pulled off. I think they have a lot to work on. I don't see them sticking in the top 10
Yeah.
if they keep playing like this. But I unless Tennessee and Ole Miss screw up the next few weeks, I firmly think that your 100% Miami will probably stay at 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then Missouri could fall past the top 10
Yeah.
if they play like that again. But I mean, to me, this was the hardest decision between Missouri and Miami. Your points are exactly right. There's no reason why either one of them. I just kind of it was kind of a coin flip for me at this point because I think both teams can easily screw up one week.
And drop out real quick.
Yeah.
Drop out real quick.
Plus, Miami's a situation where the ACC is them theirs for the taking, and one wrong move and that's it.
Yeah.
And then you got Florida State back in it again, Clemson, NC State, and all them.
Yeah.
No. And then of course everybody else, but yeah, we're pretty close in that. I mean, you are pretty wrong about all years, but
I will say a sneaky team on this list is Oregon.
Yeah.
I will say they're sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
If they keep playing the way they're playing, I can easily see them moving up because they're playing some great ball. Evan Stewart.
Yeah.
He's playing great. And their quarterback he's going to do what he do because that's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is great. But Oregon, I think Oregon at 9 is a sleeper. They could definitely move their way in. And I also see Oregon taking one of those college football playoff spots.
Well, I mean, if we're talking college playoffs, so let's just say no, Texas wins the ACC. No, Miami wins the ACC. You still have left the Big 12 champion. You got the Big 10 champion, which could either go to Oregon or Ohio State. You got the Big 12 champion, which could be
that's a toss-up.
Yeah, that's a toss-up between Utah and Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
And then of course you got the Power 5, which could be North Illinois, Memphis, who just beat up on Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree that I think Ohio State, I'm sorry, Oregon starts not this week, but next week, their Big Ten play.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that will show us whether they're going to move up or down.
Yeah.
And I think they can be sneaky because you're 100% right. I mean,
they've been playing some ball.
Yeah,
that's the ball.
I think rushing. Let me see. They rushed for 248 against the Beavers, for a top 5 rushing attack.
Yeah.
No,
they got weapons starting at the quarterback to their outside and their run game. They got it all right now. They got it all right now.
Yeah, and I think the only one that I don't know about you, but that I question, that I feel like even now I feel like I shouldn't have done, is Penn State at number 10. They almost lost to Bowling Green in week 2, but some people are saying that they're kind of banged up, that they're not banged up. No, I'm not sure how to feel about it.
I think after this week, it'll prove if they're really number 10 spot. But I'd take them at 10 right now. Right now, I'll take them at 10.
I'll agree with you on that. Okay. But all right, and of course, again, if you're gonna see both our top 25, go to all our social medias. They will be posted on there. And yeah,
I just want to let the Aggies know I gave them a little praise this week. Although it took them, I gave them a little praise. I see some potential in them guys.
I kept them down. I kept them 25. And I love my Aggies, but I'm honest. I gotta be honest. So let's go on to our next one. And of course, last but surely not least, we have to give you our NFL power rankings. Of course, guys, like the CFP, we're only going to talk about our top 10. You can go look at social media on Friday to see our full list, both mine and Devin's. But let's get started with numero uno. And of course, again, completely didn't realize that he would flip it. It's all right. I think this is funner. Devin's over here. Hershey's over there. Mine's over there. But I think we both agreed. Number 1, Kansas City.
No, well, I definitely got to put them in number 1. Although they got lucky this past weekend, you got to put them in 1. You got to put them in 1. They stay loaded year after year. And honestly, I don't know why the NFL lets it happen, but they do. But they're good, man. They're good, man. I'm not jumping on their bandwagon because they have Xavier Worthy, but
He's jumping on the
I'm
bandwagon.
jumping on the bandwagon.
He jumps.
Yeah.
And you know what? I mean, I thought Xavier was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be as good as he's been. But you know what? Patrick Mahomes makes everybody better.
Absolutely.
So now this is where I think things get a little more cross-eyed. But what in the world are you thinking?
Have you seen?
Putting
Have you
Saints at
seen what
number
the
two?
Saints have been doing lately?
They don't-
I mean, the Cowgirls didn't stand a chance from the time they got up. They should have started guarding the Saints from the time they left their hotel.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
Because that,
I'm
like,
not
that
gonna say
was,
nothing about that
that was,
because my feelings are getting hurt
it was,
here.
it was bad.
I'm not denying it was good. I'm not saying it was good. I'm just saying.
From the kickoff, the Saints let the Cowboys have it. And they looked tough. Even from last week, they looked tough. I feel like they just kept it rolling all week.
I mean, but they do this every year. They start like this. Like, but I'm not saying like I put them at number six. You know, because I do agree with you that they are good, that they are showing. You know, Alvin Kamara had 91 points over the two games, while only allowing 29. So I'll give you that they are playing well, but I can't put them at number two.
I don't see nobody playing as good as them but the Chiefs right now. Right now, at least, right now.
What about the Bills? Look that dominating performance by James Cook, tying the Bills rushing record with 3 touchdowns in the first half. I'm
Did they
sorry.
play the Jaguars?
No, they played the Dolphins.
Makes sense.
Still, the Dolphins have a good run defense.
Mhm.
Is it the best? No, but it's the top 10. It's the top 10 run defense, and they got three. And mind you, it was 2 rushing and one passing touchdown. And the last, I think, if I'm correct, I gotta double check that, but I think the Jews was the last time to one person to do that.
I couldn't put them at two. They made my top five. But the Saints for me, definitely number two right now. Right now.
At number three is probably one of the other ones that we got correct. We
Yeah.
both agreeing the Texans. I think they're both playing great.
The Texans are going to be tough.
Yeah,
Texans are going to be tough.
Mhm.
I'm glad they're starting to be a team that people can get behind.
Yeah.
Although they've had faithful fans, but now it's like, you know, we can cheer for the Texans. We got something to look forward to. There's hope. There's hope.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of hope. I agree. Yeah. At number four, obviously we disagree on this one. I have the Lions, and you have the Bills. Why the Bills at four?
Uh, I mean, like you said, they're playing great ball. Um, but I don't see the Lions being on top of them. I feel like if it was a one-on-one matchup between them, the Bills would take the overhead. Not easy, but I feel like the Bills would take the overhead, so that's why I got them at four. The Lions are great. The Lions are great as well. Um, that's why I stuck them at five for the time being. But I mean, like you said, week after week, this could change because we know the NFL is unpredictable.
Yeah, it's hitting this week. Yeah. Um, I like the Lions. I mean, defensively, Aiden Hutchinson is arguably in contention for Defensive Player of the Year right now, and if it wasn't like for Jared Goff's inconsistencies, I mean, they would be higher.
Mhm.
They would have beaten the Bucks. I firmly believe that it was close. Plus Jamison Williams was. There's some questions there.
Yeah,
There's some questions there, but he's still emerging as a great number two option. I think he's doing great. They just need to shorten. But I do agree with you. Uh, the Lions are becoming hope
yeah,
that something different can happen.
yep, yeah.
Of course, you did pick them at your number five with the Lions. My number five was the 49ers. Look, the 49ers are just banged up, bro.
But
Brandon Ayuk,
but
CMC.
with the team they got, you gotta put them up there.
Uh,
I got them at six right now.
mhm.
But you gotta put them up there. Even banged up, you gotta put them up there.
Which I did. That's why I gave him that respect. I gave him
Because-
respect, but
because, like I said earlier, they will find a way to win.
mhm.
Debo is one of my favorite players in the NFL. Not only by the way he plays, by the way he conduct himself when teams are coming at him.
Yeah.
Like he's still gonna play Debo Samuel football.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, once the ball in his hand, it's either 100 or it's 100. Like he's gonna give you everything every time. So I feel like even banged up, they got a chance. They got a chance.
I'll have to wait and see on that one. Um, then it's obviously we talked about my number 6 already, and your 6, 7. Honestly, I should have changed this one. I should have changed this one because they embarrassed the NFC East. They embarrassed us. But you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna give them some credit because I have the Eagles at 7. You have them at 8. Uh, Honestly, I should have put the Bucks at. The Bucks were so much better at 7 here.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you
That's
after
what
watching the
happened.
Eagles. No, the Bucks. Give me a second. The Bucks are here. They had Baker Mayfield completing 73.5% of his passes for 474 and 5 touchdowns. And
Outstanding performance.
yeah,
Outstanding performance.
they're in competition for the NFC South with the Atlanta Falcons and the Saints
Yeah.
in there. I mean, that division can go 3 ways.
Yeah.
But with the Eagles here, it's like they want to blame Saquon Barkley for not catching that third down catch, but it's like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Did you know that JC Bates III had not caught an interception in over 1,000 days? Over 1,000 days.
Hurts getting
Hurts getting food. And the sad part is, if you watch Monday Night Football, Bill Belichick said he's gonna get one tonight.
crazy.
So
Crazy.
yeah. Uh Obviously my number 8, Green Bay, you have them at 10. Why at 10?
They're good,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't feel like they're better than the Vikings right now. I also don't feel like they're better than the Eagles. Also, the Eagles had to me, it was a terrible game.
Yeah.
They had a terrible game, but I also have faith in them because they got the weapons, they got the defense. They can win. They can win. They just need to get it together.
Yeah.
Get it together. But Green Bay, like we talked about earlier, it's a toss up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a toss up. Of course, they'll find a way to win, but I want to know how they're gonna adjust when Love comes back. Um, to now, like quarterback this week, he was great. He was great. The team wasn't quite there with him. They got the win.
Yeah.
They wasn't quite there. But right now they'll stick them at 10. When Love come back, that could change just depending on how they play and their opponents. Their opponents for sure.
I like him at number 8. I think Matt LaFleur, he really impressed me this week by changing the gameplay to match the prowess of Malik Willis, and they really leaned on Josh Jacobs too. I mean,
He had a great game too.
he had an amazing game. I mean, he's had an amazing game since leaving the Raiders.
Yeah.
And I just love the way they're using him in the passing game, in the blocking, in the running game, and it's not just a running game like going downfield. It's a check down and a little out route, a little slant. Hey, pitch and block. I mean hitch and run type of strategy. So I put them at number 8. I think they are better than the Vikings in the sense of, although the Vikings are playing great and Brian Flores is being defensive coach of the year.
And the Vikings are doing good, man. They're doing good.
Let's be serious. Is Sam Darnold the guy? Is he the next Aaron Rodgers? I mean,
If the line continues to do what they did this past game, give him that kind of protection and give his receivers the chance to get in their routes, I think they've got a chance. They've got a chance. I don't see a long run in them, but I see a lot of wins. I see a lot of wins because Justin Jefferson, like that man doesn't stop running.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like if Sam Darnold gets that kind of time, Jefferson's gonna get open.
Yeah.
He's gonna get open.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. I think Jay Jettis is great. I think he's such a good. He's a little banged up this week, but I think he's gonna be fine. I don't know. I don't trust Sam Darnold enough. I think in the NFC North, I think it's still gonna be between the Packers and the Lions.
Yeah.
No, although I cannot wait, and this is a true statement. I cannot wait to see the Vikings play the Bears because Caleb Williams is gonna run his mouth like we're so good, and then Sandro now is gonna come in there and he's gonna be like, "Nope," and like,
I got the Vikings by at least 2.5 touchdowns that game.
"Oh yeah."
The Bears just they've got the weapons. I'm sorry, but Caleb Williams is not it. He's not. Well, right now he's not in. Maybe they can change, but right now he is not the guy.
I mean, they should have stuck with Justin Fields. They should have stuck with him. Yeah, but that's our power rankings. I think we're pretty outside of your craziness with the Saints. I mean
They're playing some ball.
that is the definition
They're playing
of
some ball.
a crazy 2 weeks or 3 weeks now in the NFL.
I mean, I got them. I got them putting up at least 30 points the next two games.
Who are the next two one? Oh, I gotta look that up.
They're tough, man.
Let's see. Let's see.
Kamara looks like he's in his prime.
In his prime. Oh yeah, he does kind of.
Yeah, that's
So
his.
okay, so they play the Eagles next.
Yeah,
That's after what the Falcons did.
That's a 30-point game.
That's a 30-point game. Then they play the Falcons. Okay. Okay. All right.
I just saying. I see at least two 30-point games coming up for the Saints.
And then in week 4, and then I'm sorry, not week 4, but the week after that, it's the Chiefs. At the Chiefs.
That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one.
If they keep playing like the way they are,
going in the Arrowhead is tough.
It's tough, yeah.
It's tough.
It's tough.
But if they keep playing ball the way they're playing, they will give the Chiefs a run for their money.
I'm gonna make this prediction right now. If they beat, I think they're gonna beat the Eagles and the Falcons. I think they can easily beat them. The way they're playing, they can easily beat them.
Oh yeah.
If they beat the Chiefs,
tough.
If they beat the Chiefs,
are you move them up?
I move them to number 1.
Okay.
I move them to number 1.
Okay.
Because if you look at their schedule, so after the Chiefs, it's the Bucks, Broncos, Chargers, Panthers. So right there, the only really 2 challenges will be the Bucks and the Chargers. Then they go back with the Falcons, the Browns, the Rams, who are probably still going to be beat up to hell, the Giants and the Commanders back to back.
See, they almost got like a cakewalk schedule.
Exactly. Green Bay, Raiders, and then they end with the Bucks.
They almost got a cakewalk schedule if they keep playing the way they're playing.
Yeah. I mean, the only real opponents here is the Bucks, Chargers, Packers, and Raiders.
Yeah.
If we're going by what everybody's doing right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a cakewalk for them. Yeah. That's easily, you could put them at 10 wins.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Winning the division.
Yeah.
Winning the division and making the number 2 seed.
Definitely give them 10 wins this season. And that's minimal.
That's minimal.
Yeah.
That's minimal. Oh man. Ooh, that's gonna be scary.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be scary. On the plus side, though, Cowboys fans, because the Eagles still lost, we're all on the same record, and you know what? We can still win the division. Maybe break the curse of no back-to-back champions. But
look, Cowboy fans. I know y'all are diehards. I know y'all love them, but it's got to come to a point to where y'all got to stick together by yourselves. And just ride every season out. It's tough, man. It's tough.
I'm just saying, like, somebody look, if we get $100 billion between, like, if we just get 100 billion people, $1 each, we can buy the Cowboys up for Jerry Jones and start fixing them.
First off, the first thing I'm doing, I'm sitting Dak packing. I hate talking about him because, like, if you talk to a Cowboys fan, but his stats are this, his stats are that. And it's like, yes, they are. They're great stats. But, man, he's been there for a while and he hasn't done anything.
That's true, yeah.
They keep tossing him money. Yes, his stats are going to be there year in, year out. There's not a ring on those fingers, though. A ring on those fingers. And, they made the playoffs last year.
Yeah. But then got wrecked by Green Bay.
Got wrecked and, that's our savior. Here's some more money. It's like, no, like, take that money and, like, build yourself. Build yourself. Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean, if I had the money and I could buy the Cowboys, that I would have to. I mean, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan.
yeah,
My first memory is watching the '92 football, '92 championship, NFL championship, and with my grandfather in Mexico, and it was amazing. And grew up ever since watching them, and it hurts my feelings.
my grandma and my dad are rolling over in their grave, hearing me talk about the Cowboys. Die hard fans.
Oh,
I can't get behind them. I
no,
cannot get behind
it's all
them.
right. I understand. I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Man, it's
We
tough.
see that's what I'm saying. We get $100 billion. We buy them off of them because they're worth $4 billion. But you got to take all the fees and everything, make it worth their while. So if anyone knows a rich entrepreneur that's willing to give us the team, we're happy to run it for you guys.
Or something.
Yeah, I can guarantee you. I'm going back. I'm calling Von Miller. Hey, you want to come home?
A change needs to happen for the Cowboys.
I can guarantee you. I am calling Von Miller. I am calling Mike Evans. I am calling Miles Garrett. Hey, y'all want to come home? You got to take a little bit of a pay cut, but you can come home.
Hey, give us 2 to 3 years. We'll get y'all where y'all should be. Absolutely.
What could you imagine? Micah Parsons, Von Miller, Miles Garrett,
Scary.
and then you got Mike Evans and CeeDee Lamb on the outside.
We'd have to piss out a lot of money.
I think we can. Well, Von Miller, he's older. He's in his 30s, so I think we can get him on the cheap. Miles Garrett, though, yeah,
Yeah.
might be a little bit harder. I think Mike Evans too. He's on the cheaper end.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. But that's our power rankings. Let's go to our last thing. And as you can see, that is all the time that we have here today. I think Devin, we can make this an regular thing. I think this was good.
It was great. It was great.
Great.
It was great talking about it. Of course, we had some disagreements,
Mhm.
but we heard each other out, and it'll be great to see how games go this weekend from our predictions and picks and things like that. And then next week we come in and have more to talk about.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be crazy.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it's just we talked about a lot of things. For sure, I think we should keep going our rankings, talking about our top tens each one. I think that's a great segment that we might keep going here, depending on see how time goes.
Mhm.
But I think there's gonna be a lot of things to talk about next week.
Yeah, we got some big games.
Some big games coming up.
Coming up.
Uh, of course, guys, as always, we do appreciate you coming. Please always subscribe, rate, leave a review. That's what allows us to give you the best and greatest information ever. Of course, you can always follow us on all our social medias here. You guys let us know what you guys think of the show. And again, no, your input is important to us. No, it's always important. But as always, this is Hershey, and now it's Devin. No, signing out from Sports Unlimited. Until next time, sports fans,
Hook 'em.
stay passionate and see you next time. Bye bye.